I'm gonna do this new makeup look while I talk my shit. And yes, I have on the chilly shirt because it was my ex's, and I think I may still not give a fuck. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to be telling just saying, just things that have been on my mind about dating.
I want your crew, not a fresh.
2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
So first, I'm gonna go in with my Chanel. This is Chanel, right? Yes, my Chanel. This is all I freaking use for foundation ever. I just put a lot, I wasted, on my hand and my abus. My abus. My abus. I already did my abus. What is the new deal with dating? Okay? Because I can't even actually know. I can't even ask what the new deal is. I don't think I know how to date. I don't think that I personally know how to date. I'm a woman, like I'm like up there in age. Like I'm like half my life. No, I'm kidding. Let me not say that. God, I'm just joking. But I love when I don't have on my lashes too, because I can get all the way up in there with my foundation, and I love that shit. So I'm not like knowing how to date. Like I am so confused. So I feel like when I was younger, I just did the whole dating thing wrong. Like I would just like get with like people and they like me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna be together because we love each other. So we're gonna be together. That's just how it's gonna go, and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love it over here, bitch. And you better make me love it too, because that's just how they told us it was supposed to go in all the movies we watched, like Cinderella and Pinocchio and shit. So, going on in life, all of my 20s, literally, just dating men, or not just dating men, I would get into these relationships, and they wouldn't last. They would be like, so as I was younger, they would be a little bit longer, but once I got older, they started to just become like 6 months to like a year. Like if I could get to a year and a half, like that was freaking love. The only longest relationship that I did have was with a guy that was my friends with benefits, and I didn't know how to do that shit. So Akil, if you're out there, like nothing is lasting like too long. You know, a good solid situation, nothing. Okay? But I'm like, it's them. I'm going through life like it's them. So I'm like, okay, let me try and date outside my race, because that has to be the solution. No, it has to be that all these black men just suck. It just has to be that. It had to be that all the black men suck. And so I go date outside my race. But no. Okay? Like it's a no for me. So I dated outside my race. We were together for almost 2 years. I was actually very surprised. So he was the person that made it real to me that white people have cousins. I did not know that. I was like, honestly, I never knew white people had cousins. He's like, yeah, my cousins all the time. I'm like, so for a long time, I thought that shit was weird. I thought he was lying to me and trying to play games. You don't got no damn cousins. But he really did. So, but that's not why we didn't work out, Lord. And never mess up the booze. Okay, so this eyebrow is trash. Okay, so we're freaking, we're dating, and I just wasn't really connecting with this guy. So, but this guy reminded me of the friends with benefits guy. So I'm like, oh God. And this is when I realized, like, in one relationship, I'm one way. I'm like the bad guy. Then I get in another situation and it's reverse. Then I get and I'm the good guy. Then I get in another situation and I'm the bad guy. And I get another situation and it's reverse. And I'm like, this just keeps happening. It just keeps happening that I'm getting back my villainism. It just keeps happening that I keep receiving the villain in me. It just keeps happening like that. I'm locked up, they won't let me out, Lord. And I'm like, okay, so this guy, like, so I realized with this, in this situation, that there is a such thing as karma. And so, let me blend this, I'll come back. Okay, so as I mentioned before, but that guy that I dated when I was friends with benefits with, I treated like shit. And at this point I was wanting to change the dynamic of everything, but I couldn't realize, like, I couldn't figure out why. I just was so incapable of doing that. So, and really, he probably should have been, like, in my world, if I was in control, he should have been my husband. But I feel like God put that amazing man in my life for me to fuck over. And he, I know, is much better from that situation. But it took me forever to realize what the fuck was going on. That's the problem. And I'm like, I go into another race because I'm like, you know what? I've done nothing but date all these freaking black men, and I'm like, it has to be them. Like, it's not me. It's just like, and I'm hearing social media is like really a thing now. So now I'm like, oh my God, so other people are going through this shit too. This can't be. Freaking, yeah. So it has to be that it's all these freaking black men. Has nothing to do with me. It wasn't just the fact that he had cousins. That was just like the cherry on top. So our situation is fucked up. Now, I feel like because I wanted to change so much, so God was like, all right, bet. Like, this is gonna hurt, but it's gonna have to happen. Now, in that situation though, it wasn't like I got made, like, he was so bad to me. What it was I was so bad to him. But I had to look at the pattern of, like, me still entertaining, like, other people. Let me see what time it is. Me entertaining other people, or not fully being so totally invested in the situation that I'm in. So again, this guy made me realize, or with this relationship brought all this shit to surface, because again, I want to change. So God was like, all right, bet. And so with this guy also, it was really crazy. Like, the relationship was wild. So, and it wasn't even like, it was some, like, it was just an emotional fucking mess. And God helped me realize, or be faced with, myself. This guy just had no emotional control, had no emotional understanding, and we both just it was a lot. But again, I want to change. I'm trying to figure out, like, why can't my relationships just work out? Like, what is it? Like, what am I missing? So I get out of that relationship because I'm like, clearly it's just him. Like, it's them. Now it's the white guys too. It's all of them. Everybody. It's not me. And that's a lie. I knew that it was something that I wasn't doing, but I did not think it was what I found out. So we break up because he yells at my aunt, and that's not an option, of course, because you can't make up from that. So we break up, and I'm like, you know what? He was the problem. It's not me. It's him. So we're going to go and find someone that's going to treat me better. So I started going back to black guys. Now, at this time, I'm more paying attention to what men are saying, and I'm like, okay, cool, like, you know what I'm... And then what happened is I started coming across all these narcissists because I was asking God to show me what the problem was. I started coming across all these narcissists. But at this time, I'm noticing, because again, I want to change what's going on. I'm starting to get a little more knowledge on narcissism or NPD disorder. I've never done my makeup with my fingers this much. This shit is weird, but I see so many people doing it and their makeup looks decent. So, people with narcissistic personality disorder, they keep coming around. I'm like, what the fuck? So it takes one guy for me to realize, like, that's what it is, because that shit was so hurtful. But I switched my position. So usually I was going into everything like, okay, whatever happens, happens. Like, I love you for now. You know what I'm saying? But then I switched and I'm like, no, I really want love. So what's going on? Like, why am I, you know, like, not getting it? God, what is it? All these narcissists start showing up. So I'm like, meet this guy, and he just is vastly fucked up. And I'm like, damn, like, who moves around like that? Now, at this point, I'm still not really understanding what this means, but I'm like, all right, bet. So we didn't break up, we just dated for a little bit, but we dated for like literally a few months. And another guy. Now, this guy, I'm like, he's gonna be the guy. When I first met him, not so much. I'm like, absolutely freaking not. Like, you look like a freaking weirdo. And I lost the ability to follow my intuition. So, or even knowing what that was. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So, the next guy I meet, after a while, I actually absolutely fall in love with this guy. Now, this guy was so complicated. He never gave me anything that I really wanted. It was always on his terms, his time. That's what it was. That's what it was going to be. He would sometimes, as I'm looking at hindsight now, but sometimes he would give me, you know, just a little bit, so breadcrumbing. And I'm like, damn. I will always tell him, like, oh, I know you can change because I used to be just like you. I used to be just like this. I used to do the same thing. I feel bad for all those people that I did make feel like this, because now I realize what this feels like. But I know that you can change because I changed. So, like, if you really want to, like, love me, you can, because I know that I stopped making people feel like that, you know? But I'm still not realizing. So, but I wanted to change. So, time goes on, and shit just goes sour. But this guy actually tells me a lot about myself. A lot of how I'm perceived. And I'm like someone that really likes to like learn those things and grow from those things. So that doesn't offend me. But what it did though was help me really see, like, damn, if I'm really out here like acting like this and making people feel like this, like, what do I really want to even love this guy? Like, why do I want relationships? Like, what is it that I really want from even this guy right here? Like, dang. So at this point, I'm starting to go into a healing that I wanted to go into. It wasn't like I was, oh no, like this little fake healing. No, I really wanted to go into, I'm like, Lord God, I need you, because that shit, it hurt me. Because I really wanted this guy. This is one of probably the only guys, other than the friends with benefits guy, but I didn't want him until after, of course. But all the guys that I've been with, this guy was the one that I like wanted to just change it all for, and just, you know, like, what do you need me to do? You want me to be barefoot, pregnant, hungry? I'll be that, nigga. This guy made me realize that I haven't healed from the friends with benefits guy. He made me realize that I ain't healed from my daddy. He made me, and it wasn't like he said these things to me. It was just all these things just kept coming up. Like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I also started doing more research on narcissistic personality disorder. When I did that, I realized women can be narcissists too. I just realized with him, I'm like, damn, because he made me feel so bad. And it forced me to really recognize that this is how I have made people feel. So at this point, yeah, I'm 10 years. So for 10 years of my life, all I've done was just done people fucked up. I started this video saying I'm just like nervous about dating, like I don't know how to date because I don't know when I'm doing those things. It's like I am trying to learn to go with the flow. I can't even believe like I'm actually admitting this right now, but I'm trying to learn to go with the flow. Now, on the flip side, I feel like what I have developed into, because what I used to say all the time to God is that I wanted to be more like the guy that was the Friends with Benefits, and he was so empathic and so sweet, and I used to always say I want to be like that. So I went through that horrible phase of being still me, but learning to feel people and learning that like people really hurt and like have feelings, because I went through life like fuck feelings. Like what do feelings, what bills do feelings pay? And sometimes when it comes to business, I am still very cutthroat in that way. Feelings ain't gonna close this deal. That's just that simple. But I definitely would never acknowledge anyone's anything. Like, I'm like, oh, you feel that? Okay, cool. Like, well, get over it. But then I started to realize I'm hurting people. Like, people are hurting, like, because of me. And I'm making people feel like this, like how this guy has had me feel. Again, that's why I say I am nervous, because I don't want I don't want to be that person to anyone else, where I know now I wouldn't be that person, but I don't want to self-sabotage anything else anymore. Say where they say narcissists are very insecure, I can definitely vouch for that, because I'm not, like, again, I don't know that I was definitely narcissistic, but I know that I had some characteristics. I can definitely attest to that. I don't even know what the fuck I just said. I'm trying to finesse these damn lashes. That's normal. But yeah, I wouldn't like, do anything too freaking wild or crazy or anything like that. But I was still just emotionally, because that's what that guy did to me, and that's what made me realize, like, I would emotionally fuck you up. And yeah, so now I just want to make sure. Like, so that's why I say I'm nervous. That's why I've been nervous. I haven't been dating much because I have been, healing and just really taking my time. And I do say that that's important as shit, to take your time and really figure yourself out, because you really could be out here just fucking people up, and don't nobody got time for that. Don't nobody got time for none of that, though. Absolutely not. I'll be gonna beat your ass. And that's on my mama. That's on my mama. That's on my mama. I'm gonna try a wing. I'm like I ain't got nowhere to be. Oh. Yeah, guys, that's honestly, like, really it. If you guys have any, like, suggestions, like I said, like, I am going to get back into therapy, because let me tell you something, I need that. And at this point, maybe even like a freaking exorcism. That's the main thing. Always contour your mouth. Like, always. Look how much. Why does everything about my eyebrows look like a different fucking color? Like, what the fuck is that? That's much better. Just a little of the shimmer bronzer on the forehead. The forehead is your forehead. Yeah, so this is the look. I don't really care for this eye boo. It's so annoying. I don't like the eye. I just freaking... This is why you don't wait to do your fucking lashes right before you have to leave. That's horrible. Alright guys, so here's the final look, and this is also a story time on how I found out I have had narcissistic characteristics and am now nervous to date.
I want your whole crew, not a fresh.
2, 1.
What's going on, guys? If you made it this far, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. People like, oh shit, like how much is it? Oh, it's only $10. No, it's not gonna do what the fuck the Kardashians do. Ain't nobody got time to be looking like. I don't want to look like regular. I'm gonna always look like a daddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. Anyway.